That was quite the little adventure we went on.
Do you sense one of your friends, Hootle? I think it's safe to rest here now.
Huh? I think someone's calling out for us.
Hmm?
Right.
Excuse me!
Well... Really?
Good.
What the? Seriously?
All right.
Yes! Right.
No way.
I don't believe this! Great! Very nice. What?
I guess...
What?
Yeah! Whoa! Is that... Oh, this is bad. Real bad.
Ah! Just great. Yeah!
Man, that was amazing! No wonder the old man was so gung-ho about it.
See? What did I tell you?
Shion, you've got sauce on your face.
I think Hootle senses something.
Is that the Zoogle we were told to dispatch?
Go no further!
Here I come!
Please now.
I'm not done!
Down in there with the
Rising Falcon! Here I
Stay
come!
ready! You gotta just recover, okay?
Storm!
We're doomed.
Pull it together, Law.
Sorry, right. I'm calm.
Here I come!
Your power is a spectacle to behold.
I'm not trying to be dramatic. Thanks, Kisara.
It's over! You picked the wrong
You
fight!
got the advantage.
My turn! Good!
Just have to make sure we keep it.
Don't worry, because Raw's on.
Take this!
Here's a healing arc.
Rip and tear! Anything in armor is all mine!
Now! You're mine!
Lunar Blast! Down for
I'm on it!
in the wind!
Azure Storm!
Rip and tear!
Try harder! Now!
What a
You're mine!
I'm on a roll now! Where are you going?
banana! Let's go! There you go!
Carve through armor!
You're mine!
I really owe you. I'm sorry to be a boss.
We've all got enough of it.
Take yes, ma'am. I'm on a roll now.
Eat this!
Just what the doctor ordered.
You're mine! I'm not done!
Talon
Dragon
Ailing
Form!
Ball!
Talon Hurricane!
If we can do that...
Now
This
it's
ends
rocking.
now!
Freeze that field!
Rising
Dance in
Falcon!
the wind!
I'm not
Air
done!
Storm!
Dragon Form! No escape! Searing Gale! Try harder! Now! Here I come! It's over!
Can't get out of this!
Denied!
Here I come! You're finished!
I'll smash you! I'm on a roll now.
Here I come! Try harder! My
Let the
turn!
marksman handle this.
Off my focus.
Burn in hell!
Raging hurricane field!
You're mine!
Sleep now.
Swallow dance!
Time and breath.
Azure Storm!
Dragon Shell! I'll finish you here and now!
Azure Storm! Here I come! Azure Storm!
Water! Talon Hurricane!
Here I come!
Lightning
Eagle
orb!
Dive!
Raging
Azure
cascade!
Storm!
Flame of
Here I
fury!
come!
Burning
It's over!
Glacial speed! Here's the orb!
Azure Storm!
Freeze blade! Lightning orb!
Do you require a hand?
More where that came from! Where are you going? Got it!
This fist has got your name
Now's our
on it!
chance.
Azure Storm!
Now!
In an instant! Impact Block!
Lightning condense!
Take this! Azure Storm!
Talon Hurricane!
Rip and tear!
Azure Storm!
Roast it!
Better if you don't sit up. Talon Hurricane!
Azure Storm!
Attack time!
Burn in hell!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Azure Storm!
Lightning condense!
Azure Storm!
Dragon Shell! That's freaking
Azure Storm!
Dark Wing!
You're mine! Azure Storm!
Swallow dance! Watch it! In a bind?
Azure Storm! You're finished!
I can carve through walls!
Azure
The
Storm!
enemy is going all out! Scion instant!
Serpent Knuckle! Azure Storm! You're mine!
It's about to strike!
Look sharp, everyone!
Fire marksman handle this! Into the wind!
Nothing gets by me.
This one's mine!
Azure Storm! Here I come!
Now shall escape my judgment!
Try harder! Burn!
I'm almost impressed!
Our praise comes from you.
I said almost. Don't get carried away. It looks like you got this one covered.
You may be strong,
So much for
but I'll
sitting
never
this
back
fight
down!
out.
That wouldn't be a
Take
complaint.
Nope, that is
You're
silly.
mine! You're finished!
Back into the fray! Dance in the wind! Air
Can't
thrust!
get out of this!
Azure Storm!
It's
Here I come! You're finished! Now, while it's reeling!
Take it down!
Azure Storm!
I can carve through armor!
Vanquish darkness!
Cut! Not today!
Talon Hurricane!
Azure Storm!
Now! My judgment!
Law! I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life! How's that for a kick? I'm getting better, right?
Quite. I'll be relying on your fancy footwork.
Does fancy footwork mean running away like a chicken?
No!
Well, looky here.
This realm doesn't seem like such a bad place to camp in.
Yeah, there's lots of plants and wildlife here.
I know, and it all looks freaking delicious too!
Who said anything about eating them?
Kisara, let's talk for a bit. Maintaining your shield? It's becoming a familiar sight.
Miguel was the one who taught me how to maintain my equipment after I first joined the Guard. Now it's just a part of my routine.
Your brother always seems to come up whenever I talk to you.
That's because we had no other relatives, so it was just the two of us growing up. He was my idol, the one I looked up to and wanted to be like. When I became a guardsman, Lagiel wasn't too pleased to see me at first. It was Miguel who really welcomed me aboard.
Lagiel? Oh, right. She was Miguel's second in the Gold Dust Cats, wasn't she?
That's right. She's always been a very critical and down-to-earth person. In other words, the complete opposite of a dreamer like me.
You're more an idealist than some pie-in-the-sky dreamer.
Even so, that's my brother's doing. He'd never let me stop seeing a brighter world. He always did what he could to keep me smiling and happy.
You must have meant a lot to him.
He wasn't just kind, either. He always worked so hard to set an example for me and everyone else around him. He was a true big brother. So much so that when he thought I was asleep, he'd slip out of the house to go training on the outskirts of town.
You seem to know a lot about it.
That's because I only pretended to be asleep and would follow after him. You know what? I'm at a good stopping point with my shield. If you've got time, how about I tell you a couple more Miguel stories?
I guess I'd better get comfortable.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Before we go, do you guys have everything?
I just wanted... Enormous stray.
I don't think we can take it right now.
Out of our way!
Eternal Devastation! Try harder! Not a chance! Azure Storm!
Go for the weak point!
Severing One! Lunar Rogo!
I'm impressed.
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Try harder!
Far enough!
Take this! Thrust! Dragon Scale! Win!
Now or never.
Here's evil! This side!
This one's mine.
Talon Hurricane! Severing Wind!
Wicked corruption.
Searing Gale!
Gemini Alpha.
Take this!
Annihilation.
I'm on it!
Mega Ray.
Azure Storm!
Here you are!
Not today!
Natural energy! Up and
Here I
out!
come!
Let's go! Healing circle!
Severing wind!
Here goes!
Here I come!
Why'd you heal me?
To stop you dying?
Azure Storm! Here I come! Lewis! Try harder! Not a chance!
Talon Hurricane!
Now, while it's reeling! Searing Gale! Here I come!
Glacial Spear! Here's evil! Magic is in! Freeze
Try harder!
Eat this!
You're mine!
Watch this!
It's over!
Eagle Side!
Round storm!
I'm not...
Photon Blast!
Denied!
Here I come! It's
Healing
over!
circle!
This one's all mine!
Hurricane!
Rising Falcon!
In here!
Eat this!
Strike! Burn it out!
Talon Storm!
The earth throbs in
By the
pain.
power of water!
Chinese
Talon
Supernova!
Storm!
Up and at 'em! There you go!
Go
Supernova!
away!
Mendorite!
See what
Where are
happened
you
there as
going?
you crossed me. Shouldn't have done that. Tectonic punch!
Here's a healing
Here I
blast!
come!
First aid! Armor won't save you!
Take this!
Talon Storm!
You're finished!
Searing flame!
Go away!
Azure Storm!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Will this help
Here I
now?
come! Jolene! In an instant! Impact Claw!
Will this help?
I can handle it!
It's over!
Super Swallow Day!
Healing circle!
Azure Storm!
Go!
You're mine!
Did you just heal me?
Yes, the enemy is going all out!
Right.
Lunar corruption!
Far enough!
That move!
Here comes a big one! This one's all mine!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss!
Azure Storm! Coyote!
Don't pay for that!
Burn!
Dust to dust!
Take...
We
Here I come! Severing wind!
In here! Lunar blast!
Lunar roll!
Will this help?
Soda!
Eagle Side!
Healing heal! I'll be saving you!
Rely on
Take this! I'm not done!
Not on my watch!
You're
Now I'm
finished!
in the groove!
You're missing!
Where are you going?
By the serpent of water! Take this!
She must bring you back from death's abyss!
Leave the torch to me!
In here! Lunar corruption!
I was overconfident.
Stay away from my friends!
Feel!
Far enough!
This'll touch it! I can feel the medicine working!
Eat this!
Azure Storm!
Alright!
Azure Storm!
Time! Lunar blast!
Azure Storm!
Will this help?
Now you see what I can do!
Divine strength!
Azure...
Over.
What a relief!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss! Photon blast! Radiant devastation!
That frigid does it!
Sleep now!
I owe you one.
More for the stop!
Azure Storm!
Dance in the wind!
What a relief!
Sleep now!
You require a hand.
Divine! Rip and tear!
Here, let me help!
The enemy's open.
First aid!
There you go!
Dragon
You like me
Swarm!
again!
Wall! Here I go! Steel! I'm only getting... The lightning! Not in your dreams!
There you go!
Here,
Denied!
First aid!
Thank you.
You picked the wrong
They're
fight!
not playing around!
Talon Hurricane!
This one's mine!
Not my slightest!
You paid for that!
It's showtime!
Azure
Here
Storm!
comes something big!
Try to dodge!
harder! Now! You're...
With darkness! Freeze Lancer!
First strike! Azure
you
Storm!
Over.
Strength you must handle! Healing circle!
That's fine!
Now or never! Now!
Lunar corruption!
Take this!
In a bind?
Gemini Aqua!
Dragon Form!
Annihilation! Lightning Orb!
Annihilate anything in armor is all mine! Eagle Fly!
Here I come!
I can carve through. What's this?
Azure Storm! Severing Wind! Lunar Rondo!
What a relief!
You're my
Wind Astral Energy! Science! I'm off the
Here I come!
Annihilation! Powered
one's
Form!
all mine.
Array!
Dragon Swarm!
Let's tear 'em up!
Burn in hell!
Wind Astral Energy! Raging Cascade! Instant! Breath! By the power of water! Frost and Red!
Swallow Dance!
Glacial
Try
Spear!
harder!
Fierce Evil! Where are you going? Pluto!
Damn it!
I'll
Only
bring you
I'd
back
been
from
more
Death's
careful.
Abyss.
Azure Storm!
Eat this!
Dragon Swarm!
You're done!
Will this help?
Blow away!
I've still got some fight left in me. I can't heal you forever.
I really...
Ready to go!
Thunder Dragon!
Now! Ringwell! Frozen!
Hammer!
I can feel my precision improving.
You can never be too prepared. But did we have to spend so much?
Always good to be back in familiar territory.
Okay.
Seriously?
Well,
What the?
How's this?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey!
Rising head!
Anything
Dragon
in
Swarm! You're finished!
Here
Here I come!
Mega Ray!
Win!
I can do
Luna
all
Rondo!
this!
You're finished!
Air thrust! Light astral energy! Ray!
Fighting in this state. Isn't advisable.
Get lost!
I'll take you all on! Win!
Lightning!
You're mine!
Raging Cascade!
Rising Falcon!
Steel!
Dragon Swarm!
Freezing Storm!
You're mine!
Ice
It's
Tornado! Raging Storm!
Charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Now in the glue! Here I come! We've turned the tables on.
There are still more left.
Right. No time to hold back.
Astral Energy! Full throttle!
Certainly not bad.
No complaints here.
No backing down!
Firmament Ranger!
Eat them!
Talon Hurricane!
Take this! Severing Wind! Come one, come all!
We got the advantage.
Good. Just have to make sure we keep it.
Don't worry, because the law's on.
Ridwell! Astral Energy! Full throttle!
Didn't even break a sweat.
A fish! You saw it too, right?
I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Renin eyes.
Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble.
I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod.
You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done.
Hey, what do you think about that spot?
Good idea. I'll go for that one. Ha! Nothing's biting. Reel it in. Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
Guess it's important to stay calm.
Ha! Oh! Good fishers always keep their cool. And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins.
Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us.
Okay!
I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought, after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help. Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I just noticed none of you other Dahnans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Dahnan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman, and this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Dahnan, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Dahnans in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Dahnans in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
I have a bad feeling about this.
It's over!
By the power of water!
Airborne
Beast! My spectrum!
It's over!
Pesky airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a job for yours truly! Raging Cat, ready to go! None shall escape my judgment!
Far enough!
Can't get out of this! I'm on it!
Hit!
Target down! Azure Storm!
Get into the wind!
It's over!
Reload! In here!
You made quick work of them! Want me to pick up your slot then? Just pointing it out!
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
We managed to pull through.
Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret this.
I'm also good with airborne targets.
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Nice. No scratches on my shield or my armor.
All right.
There's nowhere to run from my arc. When he slows down, that's our chance.
Mega Ray! It's like trying to keep up with a wall!
I'm on it. Prepare to be sealed.
Gale Force! Raging
Take
Cascade!
this.
Cyan Instant!
Dragon
Hurricane! Mega Ray! Evil Dragon! Come on, roll, man! Cloud Hit! Up and out!
Rising Thunder! Talon Hurricane!
Cyan Instant! Gusty Gale! Watson!
Wind! Here I come!
Counter!
Lunar Rondo! Talon Hurricane!
Photon
Rising
Blast!
Thunder!
Lightning Contradical Field! Thunder Blade!
Wind!
Lightning! Downfall!
These fists has got your name on them!
Not a time!
Wind!
Escape my judgment!
Lunar
Thunder
Rondo!
Blade!
Rising Falcon! It's over!
That's enough! Lunar
Take it!
Hurricane!
It's
I'm
over!
all flaming to death! Annihilation!
Rising
Mega
Falcon!
Ray!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
I'm on it! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Dahnan relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Dahnan history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course. That trip.
I think I'm getting stronger.
Oh yeah? Think you could beat me at arm wrestling?
When have I not beaten you?
Right. I'll just go on ahead then.
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some... some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit.
I've got a really bad feeling about this.
Take this!
Dance in the wind!
Flying freak! Why can't they just sit still?
Shia, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done.
Astral Arts?
That's like you.
Shut them down! Try harder!
Here,
No hit!
Hey, when did I get this popular?
You're fit!
Do it, Kitara! Frozen!
Hammer!
No!
Corruption!
Rinwell! Light Burst Force!
Radiant Genesis!
Not a chair!
Lightning Glacial Spear!
Crunch! Dragon Floor! Do it!
Kitara, I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
With this, I can become even stronger.
Don't get careless.
Don't tell me!
Glacial Spear! Kill evil!
Slap the duck!
Freeze Lancer!
Double Phoenix!
Firmament
Escape!
Ranger!
Azure
Lunar
Storm!
Blast!
We got flyers!
I've got this! Let him march your head!
All
Where
yours!
are you going?
Azure Storm!
Now!
Go lead! Hey! Blow them away! My turn! I'm not done!
Lightning Attack! Dragon Shell!
Rising Falcon! Dragon Swarm! Do it! Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that vein.
Lightning Attack!
Yes, my lady?
Now, something you want to get toasty!
Bird Strike!
That's quite the technique.
You need me? I'm there.
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with that?
An opponent like this should be easy.
You got custody! Confiscate me!
You're mine!
Wind after
Take this!
Raging Storm! I never miss! Light Astrolator dance in the wind! Lunar corruption!
You're finished!
By the power Leave the enemy's arts to me!
No place here! I can carve through walls!
First aid! Light not in your dreams!
Ignite!
Corruption!
Denied!
Mega Ray!
No further!
I guess you have your uses now and again.
Told you! Law's unstoppable!
Shame you're not like that all the time.
Try harder! My turn!
Now!
Here I come! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Could have been worse.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I owe you one! Here it comes! Rising Falcon!
Seal! Reload! Where are you going?
I'll finish you
This
here
one's
and
all
now!
mine!
Flame of Fury!
Burn in hell!
Shining
Glacial Spear!
I'm here for you forever! Green here! Get on here with the others!
Here, let me help.
Thank you.
Don't mind if I do!
The enemy wields arms too.
We'll soon see about that!
You're finished!
Take this! Now you see what I
Do
can
it!
do!
Lightning on! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that vein.
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say?
Doubling! In an instant! Impact block!
I'm even stronger than before.
Gotta break through! This one's all mine!
Here I go. I'm only getting
Storm! Wind
Natural energy!
Lunar Longa!
Instant!
Lunar escape! Damn it!
Energy!
Burn in hell! You're mine! It's over! Wind!
So much for sitting this fight out.
That wouldn't be a complaint idea.
Nope, that'd be silly. You shouldn't have messed with me.
Take this! You're finished!
I'll finish you, Ted.
I'll heal you all. I never miss.
Here I come! Wind! Lunar Longa! You're mine!
Take this. Here we go.
It's on! Here I come!
Healing circle. Render.
Ignite!
Back
Take
into the
this.
fray.
You're finished!
Now, astral energy. Full throttle.
Now! You're mine! Start up!
Raging cascade. Gemini Aqua.
Strike!
Steel. Lightning.
You're mine!
Super Swallow Dance.
I think I'm getting stronger.
I found some equipment.
Let me take a look at it.
More Danon runes here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
Maybe they just had that much...
Out of our way. May a thousand gales carry
Severing Wind!
Rising
Thunder! Blue Escape! Dragon Form! Blue Escape! Azure Storm! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! That training's paying off!
I'm just getting started.
Take this! Do it! Wind! Bring up!
Astral energy.
Say no more!
Together, that wasn't even a problem. I sure have built up a sweat with this hike.
I'm surrounded!
Ignite! First strike! It's over!
Freeze laser.
Wind! Rising! Try harder! Dragon Form! You're finished! Azure Storm! You're mine!
Far enough!
Lightning raging cascade.
Bring the home stretch, guys! What she said? Eyes on the prize!
That focus goes double for you, Rob.
Me? How come I get singled out?
Dragon Shell!
I'm
Rising Falcon! Chill!
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that way.
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say?
Eagle Assault!
Well, looky here.
Still thinking about how to act around Dohalim?
That obvious, huh? Except I don't think I'll be changing much after all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stay his servant. However, I am going to treat him like a fellow comrade, the same way I would with you or anyone else. For as long as I can remember, I've spent my life protecting others. But isn't that what friends do too? Support and protect one another in times of need?
Which in the end pretty much means doing as you've always done, right? If that's what you're most comfortable with, I'm certainly not going to give you any grief over it.
Actually, I've been thinking about how I ought to act around you all as well.
Oh?
When I set out on this journey, it was to rid Eldaman and Sia of its enemies, and search for wisdom in the outside world. Wisdom that I could potentially put to use on my return. I'm grateful to you all for letting me tag along. But it got me thinking, what am I actually contributing by being here?
What are you talking about? You know how to hold a weapon, don't you? That's help enough.
Is it though? Sometimes I wish there was more I could be doing to pull my...
Oops, sorry about that. Jeez, I'm famished.
Now that you mention it, what do you guys normally do for food and meals when you're out and about on your travels?
What do you mean, what do we do? We find stuff to eat and eat it. So long as it's meat, I'm not fussy.
Eating what you like can be good for morale in the short term, but you need to think about your diet if you want to stay healthy.
Does that mean eating vegetables too?
Isn't that obvious?
It does, which I guess hasn't been happening up till now.
Yeah, to be honest, we could be eating better than we do.
Understood. In that case, I'll just have to make sure you're all staying healthy and eating right myself. Fortunately, I happen to know a thing or two about cooking as well.
You hear that, Law? Sounds like you'll be eating your greens after all.
What is it?
No, sorry, it's just... I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on all this.
It will do her good to have a project.
No, not Kisara. I meant you. Was there anything you wanted to add?
Me? Certainly you're not looking to me for culinary skill, I hope.
Typical Renan. Leaving everything to someone else.
Rinwell, I don't think...
That said, should you need my skills on the battlefield, please rest assured I have no intention of shirking my responsibilities, regardless of who we may face.
I'm sure no one doubts that. Listen, guys, if we're traveling together, we should probably at least try to make an effort to get to know one another, don't you think?
I wouldn't get your expectations too high in that regard. Believe it or not, sometimes I'm not sure I even know myself all that well.
Hey, let's stop for a minute.
What's up? You already tired?
My armor's pretty heavy. I think I need a little rest.
I second that. All of this walking is starting to take its toll on me as well.
What? You don't look it.
We can't spare the time. There's places we need to be. Mahag Saar's capital, Niez, is our destination right now.
But if one of us collapses, it will only serve to slow us down. And in your case, Alphen is the only one who could carry you. Best to rest while you have the opportunity.
Enough already! I need a break, so we're taking one.
I don't need you fretting over me.
Fretting? Hey, it's not like I'm... Been looking for you. For me? Why?
He's tough.
are you? You said you were looking for me. Why?
Beautiful, precious life.
What the...
That is all I desire.
Then why are we fighting? Who even are you?
The picture of hell.
Entertain me.
You'll pay for that! Who the hell are you? Bastard!
This guy's not normal.
Speed is unbelievable.
You mean he even surpasses a lord? Searing flame! Reload! Ready to go!
Take
Let
it.
me help! Deny!
You're mine!
There you go. It's too much.
You like me again.
Raging storm! Here's a healing orb!
Azure Storm!
First aid!
Dragon Shell!
Enjoy it.
Lightning orb!
Dragon Swarm!
Down hurry! Can't be happening!
Stay away from my friend!
Take this!
Here.
That's much better.
Take it.
Try harder! My turn!
Enjoy.
First aid!
Try harder! You're mine!
Back into the fray!
It's over!
Searing flame! Reload! Mega ray!
Dragon Swarm! Azure Storm! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
That's quite... Here, let me help.
Here I go!
Okay!
Here I go! It's
I'll
over!
be saving this one.
Is that all that you've got? Very well. Then die. A wretch like you? Till next time.
Shion, wake up, please!
Alphen?
Shion!
Thanks, but you're kinda crushing me.
Sorry.
It's okay. And so am I. It's not as bad as it looks.
Not bad. That's... Shion, we thought you were...
I'm fine. Really.
What the hell were you thinking?
Well, you were trying to protect me too, you know.
Yeah, but I have the sword. It's different.
It's not different. Besides, Never mind. It's nothing. Anyway, thank you.
But I didn't... Look, I'm just glad that you're...
Alphen?
Sorry.
That guy said he'd be back. I think maybe we should get moving before he returns, right?
Rinwell has a good point. We need to go. Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I already applied some healing arts to it. It didn't even leave a scar.
But his sword went nearly straight through you.
I'm all right. Unless I've turned into some kind of ghost and I'm haunting you all right now.
No, I know you're not. It's just...
Look, I appreciate you looking out for me, but I'm fine, really.
There was also that strange light that appeared when Shion was stabbed. It seemed to make the enemy retreat when he saw it. Alphen, do you have any idea what it might have been?
A light? I don't know. I was kind of preoccupied with other things at the time.
Now that I think of it, between that light and the blazing sword, just what sort of person are you, Alphen? Can you use Dahnan astral arts like Rinwell, perhaps?
He wouldn't know, Dohalim. He doesn't have any memories from his past, remember? Besides, we should really be getting out of here.
I suppose you're right. Forgive me. We've almost reached Niez, the capital of Mahag Saar. With any luck, we'll find a place there for Shion to rest. Hey.
Something wrong? You look like you're deep in thought.
Not exactly. I was merely thinking about you two and your sense of etiquette.
Oh?
Etiquette?
Indeed. To be quite frank, I find your lack of manners to be nigh intolerable.
That's not being frank, that's being and forget it. Do we really need to talk about this now?
Yes. I find such impropriety on your parts to be deeply unsettling. It concerns me greatly.
What do you want us to do? We were slaves. We never got to learn how to be proper like you.
Yeah, what he said. Maybe you missed how we were just focused on surviving.
Perhaps, but Kisara here demonstrates that it's quite possible for a Dahnan to learn proper manners.
That's because I was given the opportunity to learn. Moreover, my duties as a guardsman required it. Not every realm is like Menancia, as you well know.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to hold us to some other city standards.
Exactly. You've got to remember what it's been like for us living under the Rena elsewhere.
I will concede that you do indeed make a valid point. It would appear, for all my espousing the virtues of equality between our peoples, I was still looking down on the two of you.
You don't need to beat yourself up. I wasn't that offended by what you said, man.
Nevertheless, I shall mind my words from here on out. Having said that, I do believe you two would still benefit from learning the basics of proper society. I would be more than happy to teach you both when we camp out, if you like.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. Acting all prim and proper isn't really my style.
If you say so. How about you, Law? Would you like to learn? Although I suppose my first task is to reform your attitude toward the idea of good etiquette.
You're not gonna let this go, are you?
How are you holding up after that last fight? You're not too hurt, are you?
I'm fine, really. See for yourself.
If things get too tough out there, go ahead and fall back. I can take a beating if I need to.
I'm not here just to stand around and have everyone protect me.
I get that, but there's nothing wrong with admitting you have weaknesses too.
Do I look like I'm just trying to put on a brave face to you?
I can't feel pain. But you still can, can't you?
Look, I appreciate you're trying to look out for me, but even you go down in fights from time to time. Please, stop trying to babysit me. It's getting old.
It's not that. I just...